you're like, whoa, I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right, it's 2:03.
All right.
You start whenever you're ready.
All right. So today, all right, very interesting topic because it's always an interesting topic. But in the event that you don't know who I am, my name is Andre Pickens, and I am one of the creators of quantum networking, this entire philosophy that you happen to be learning about right now. And today, we're going to talk about how to handle life when things get rough. All right. Now, I know life can feel like a drag sometimes. I know. All right. It can feel like, and if you have something that's going on in your life that you're okay with sharing, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Let us, let's engage with that. All right. But life can be rough, right? You feel like you don't have enough money, or someone who's in your life is being a jerk and you're like, you don't know what to do. You're in a relationship that you don't feel like you're making any progress in. The people around you are all around negative and it makes you feel bad. Like there's so many different things that could go wrong in life. All right. Hell, you could lose your job and then not know where your money is going to come from. There's just so many things that could happen that would cause your life to feel as if things are outside of your control. All right. And what I want to talk about today is a few things that can help you so that they don't stay that way. All right. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what you should not do when things get bad. And the two things I'm going to say, most people that I've known or that I've taught have done these. Okay. Or I can even use myself as an example. I've done them too. The first one is avoid understanding why things are the way they are. Okay. When we get into the why cycle, why is this happening to me? I'm sure you know this question. Okay. Why is this happening to me? What is going on that is causing this to continue and perpetuate in my life? By the time that we're done with this class, you're going to know the answer to that. Okay. Why this is happening to me? The moment that you do that, you end up in what I will call it's a spiral. Okay. It's an emotional spiral. Or rather, it's actually an intellectual spiral, not emotional spiral. Yeah. Because you're spending your time trying to figure out what it is. Oh man, okay, it must be this. All right, I'm gonna deal with this, which is number two. Don't get ahead yet. But I'm gonna deal with this, and then once I deal with this problem is gonna go away. There's this myth that you may have heard that people believe wholeheartedly called cause and effect. Okay, people believe in cause and effect to no end. They're like, well, if I do this, this is going to happen. All right, now, chat, I have a question for you. In your own experience, how often do you follow the instructions that someone gave you to do something? You do it because you think that's your problem and nothing happens. The problem persists.
So much.
It's like, put it in the chat. I'm very interested to know.
Yeah, let us know. If you're just popping in, feel free to respond in the chat if you feel like it. We'd love an engaged conversation, but there's also a delay, so I'm going to speak. So we're not
yeah, that's fine.
You know what's so funny though? The whole problem or thing where people try to figure out why they're so upset, like what's the origin, is the whole point of talk therapy, which is which is why I find that it's so useless. It's just going in circles.
Yeah, that's the problem, which I'm going to actually explain the circle that you just finished mentioning.
Yeah, so Leah said absolutely, and then wondering if it was me that didn't do it right.
Well, let me tell you something. It's not you.
It's not you, Leah.
It's not you. Before you're done here, you're going to know why that happens. Okay? You're going to know why. All right? But it's exactly why people say it's stuck. Okay? I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and I'm going to introduce an idea to you. Okay? The reason why people are giving you this information, okay, now, the reason they're giving it to you is because they don't want you to solve your problem. They don't want you to solve your problem.
Do you think that's conscious?
Oh yeah, I think it's very intentional. I think it's very intentional. They don't want you to solve your problem. Okay, because the longer you have that problem, the longer you rely on them. And people like being relied on, right? Whether it's an emotional reliance or financial reliance, people love being relied on. And so I think on a very conscious level that people don't want you to solve your problem. Okay? So they'll sit there and go, well, this is why it's happening. They'll tell you why. They think it's happening. And you go, you know what? That makes sense. And then what happens? You go, all right, well, I'm going to deal with it, and nothing happens, right? You know why? Because of number 2. You're treating symptoms of the issue, okay? When you're looking at why something is happening, you're not looking at the core of the problem. You're looking at the symptoms of the issue, okay? What you're not getting at is what's like buried under all of that. All of the potential reasonings as to why this is happening, okay? And more often than not, when we think we found that answer, we have this mental eureka moment. You're like, oh, I think I got it. And then you do something and then nothing happens, right? Now, I'm going to explain something to you that may click in your emotions. If you feel something, put it in the chat when I tell you this, okay? Put it in the chat, all right? There is something I like to call the failure cycle. Okay? It's actually designed for you to fail. The failure cycle works like this. You prepare. So you go out of your way to study about something. You're like, all right, I want to learn about this idea. It starts from an interest. I'm gonna prepare myself. Then you do something. You go, all right, you know what? I'm so interested in that. I'm going to do something. Right? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to try my best. And I'm going to do it as much as I can. Then you're going to look at the results of what you did and you're going to analyze them. And you're not going to just analyze them a little bit. You're going to analyze them a lot. And in the event that something goes well, not if they fail, if it goes well, what you're going to try to do is what everyone tells you and replicate the result. It's genius how this works, okay? Then you're going to make an adjustment. You're going to go, okay, I know what works. I'm going to discard what doesn't work. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to do something else to avoid everything that didn't work. Now, if what I just said makes sense, put it in the chat. Okay, if you felt something when I explained this, the failure cycle, put it in the chat. Because what's going to happen after you do something? You're going to go back to preparation. Okay, you're going to prepare. Okay, I got all this new information. I'm going to prepare again. Then I'm going to do something else. Then I'm going to analyze the results. Then I'm going to adjust. Then I'm going to prepare. And then I'm going to do something. You're going to do it over and over.
It sounds like you're describing every business course that ever existed.
Every business course that ever existed teaches this model.
Gina said, yeah. Hey, Haley.
Yeah. Every business course, I know this, okay? I used to teach this model. Long time ago, when I would help companies, I used to teach this model. Okay? And it's actually designed to fail. But you think it's the right thing to do because someone who's in business tells you that it is.
Can I just point out that none of this is wrong or bad. It's just an experience.
Yes. There's nothing. So everything I'm saying here, just because it's a failure cycle doesn't mean it's wrong. Okay? Or even bad. You may feel like it's bad, but it doesn't mean that it is. So when I went through the cycle, did anyone feel anything when I said this?
Shit. Well, yeah. Gina said yes, and we have some more people popping on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So think about this, all right? If you're rinse and repeating this cycle, right? If you're rinse and repeating the cycle, how could you possibly escape your problem?
You can't.
You can't. Like, you can't escape it.
It's the same with physical symptoms.
It's the same thing with physical symptoms. If you go to the doctor, right, and the doctor says, "What's your symptoms?" You go, "Well, these are my symptoms." And let's say you got a gash on your arm, and they give you a Band-Aid. Maybe there's a different reason that gash is there, right? But they just treated the gash. So you still have your problem because they never dealt with it. Maybe that gash was a reminiscent of some kind of other issue, right? Maybe it was a small cut that became infected or something to that effect. No, I'll give you a Band-Aid. Okay? This is nothing more than a bunch of Band-Aids. You're not solving any problem.
Yeah. Haley said it felt like this is how I think I'm getting anything done.
Yes! Yes! Give her a cookie. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's designed for you to think that you've actually solved the problem or that you're actually doing something about your problem. And that's not it. That's not it. Okay? These concepts, the understanding why things, trying to find out why things are the way they are, the treating the symptoms, and this failure cycle is why problems only get worse or never go away. They keep repeating themselves in different quantities. This is why. I told you at the beginning you'd know why that was happening. This is why. Okay? Because you have been doing this cycle completely ignorant of your current situation. Okay? Life is not about repeating what people did before you. This is one of the biggest fallacies I've ever heard. Okay? Model the success of people before you.
Moment of silence.
Now, if you're like me, okay, you have followed this advice. You have looked at someone and you have done exactly what they told you. And it didn't work, right? You're like, well, wait a second. I did exactly what you told me to do. And it didn't work. The first thing my mentor told me was do not do what I tell you. That was the first thing he told me. Outside of a couple of other things you'll find out in the book Quantum Networking. But it's the first thing, when I first started learning with him, the first thing he told me was do not do what I tell you. Everything I tell you, do the opposite.
Oh my God.
That's the first thing he told me. And he gave me a mountain of advice, and I did what he told me. And I did not do the opposite, okay? Which is what he told me to do. Kind of funny how it works, right? So, but has anyone done what I'm talking about here? Where they have followed the model of someone else only to find out it doesn't work?
Well, yeah, I feel like everyone has done that. Because that's how we're all raised.
Yep.
Like, go to school, learn the same thing as everyone else has learned, blah, blah, blah. All that.
Yep. And it is exactly what happens. And it is exactly why you stay stuck. Because you're like, man, something must be wrong with me. I must be doing something wrong. Didn't someone just say that?
Yeah.
You know.
I think everyone's thinking it.
Yeah, hey, well, I thought you said that someone said that earlier.
Yeah, I think it was Leah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, something must be wrong with me. Something must be wrong with me. Now, here's the truth. Okay? When I'm going to say this, and if you feel something, I want you to let me know in the chat. The truth is that you already know how to solve your problem. You already know how to solve it. The reason why you don't do that thing is why. You know why. Why don't you do it?
Doesn't make sense.
Or, that's one of them. What else? What other reasons?
Ooh. Anyone else have a guess for why you don't do the solution that you know you
You already know how to solve your problem. And that's the thing that you gotta learn. Okay? You already know the answers to every problem that you have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a couple of reasons.
Marie said you don't trust yourself. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't trust yourself. You're like, oh no, I can't do that. What would I look like to other people if I did that? oh, this person must know better than me. They have more credentials.
Ego from Kanye.
Yeah, that's another one. Your ego is too big or whatever the thing is. Okay? So that right there is why you stay stuck. You already know the solution to your problem. You already know. Almost every problem that you encounter. It doesn't matter if a meteor fell out of the sky. You would know how to deal with that. The question is, do you trust yourself to do it? Do you trust yourself to do it? I'll tell you a story, a quick little story. I think it's very appropriate for this. A Buddhist monk is riding on a horse. He's riding on a horse down a long road, and he runs into someone that's a police officer. The police officer says, hey, why are you riding a horse in the middle of this road? This road is for cars, not horses. The Buddhist monk says, well, I didn't see anything that told me that I couldn't do that. So I decided that I wanted to ride my horse. And the officer says, well, unfortunately, you're not able to do that, even though there's no law to say that he can't. So the Buddhist monk says, okay, I'll make you a wager. If I can find out who you really are by the end of this conversation, I can ride along with my horse and you'll never say anything about this. Right? The officer is like, what are you talking about? I've already told you who I am. And the Buddhist monk said, no, that's who you want me to think you are because that's who you identify with, not who you really are. And so the police officer was completely confused by this, doesn't understand. The monk says, okay, well, I'm going to go. And he starts walking away with his horse. And he doesn't ride the horse. He gets off the horse and starts walking away with it. And for some reason, the officer went after the monk and said, hold on a second. And when the Buddhist monk turned around, he said, there you are. And then he got on his horse and rode away. Now, I'm going to see if you can figure out what the point of that story is.
Put your guesses in the chat. And to fill the silence for the sake of the recording, I just want to point out that what we're teaching you here is nothing new.
Oh, it's not new.
We're actually,
maybe new to you.
Right. So none of this is like modern made up information. We're just helping you simplify.
This is all simplification.
Cutting down on the BS. Anyone have a guess as to why the monk was allowed to ride away on his horse? Ooh, it's a tricky one.
Is it?
Well,
is it a tricky one?
Maybe not. No guesses yet.
Okay, what did the monk say to the police officer?
If I can figure out, what did he say?
If I can find out who you really are, then I can ride away on my horse and you're just going to let it happen.
Ah, yes.
Okay? The moment that police officer went after the monk, that's when the monk found out who he really was.
Yeah, okay, so Marie-Milia said the police officer is a follower, and Leah said you showed me who you identify as.
Interesting. Okay. Now, do you think the police officer was following the monk? Or do you think the police officer was following orders?
Must have been following orders.
No, because if he was following orders, he would have arrested the monk.
Now you got me confused. I've never heard this story before. So
the whole idea of this, I'll really simplify the story for you. Don't overcomplicate it. The whole point of the story is that who we really are will come out regardless of the situation at hand. It always comes out. And the thing is, what actually happens is we suppress who we are. That guy, when he went up to the when he went up to the monk, the police officer, he was a suppressed version of himself. But after the conversation with the monk, he was no longer suppressing who he was. And so that's when the monk went, I now know who you are. Throughout life, throughout our entire existence, we go out of our way to suppress who we really are. We do this by wearing clothes that we don't agree with. We do this by going to events that we don't want to be at. We do this by going through processes that completely disagree with us, but we do it because we're told to. We're doing it because we believe we're supposed to do that. And in order for us to be accepted by others, we have to do exactly what other people want us to do. This is part of the reason why life gets really rough, because you're wearing a mask the entire time you are alive. In the story that I just told you, the police officer took off his mask when he was talking to the monk. And that's why the monk was able to see who he really was.
So what would the officer have done if he didn't take off the mask?
I already told you.
Oh my God.
I already told you.
Let me guess. He would have been like, no, you're getting arrested.
Yeah, he would have arrested him.
Yeah. Because he would have just abided by his identity as police officer.
Correct. And he didn't do that. He took off his mask. Does this make sense?
Let us know.
Put it in the chat.
This can be a little tricky to understand if it's your first time, so don't feel bad if you're not getting it. This is why I talked about awareness so much on my live stream yesterday on TikTok. If you were there, you know what I was talking about. We don't always have awareness immediately when we want it.
That's true.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for us to warm up to something and allow the truth to come out. So don't worry if this isn't really clicking with you right now. It adds up. Awesome. Good.
Throughout our entire lives, we wear masks. I'll tell you something you may not have known. Okay? Because nobody ever thinks about it. All right? You know the word person? We all say that you should be an authentic person, right? Well, the word person is derived from the word persona, which means mask. So what you're telling someone by being a genuine person is that you want them to be a genuine fake. You don't want them to be them. You want them to be the them that you are okay with. That's what being a genuine person means to most people, at least the ones I encounter. Think about that. Think about that. That word, person, we use that as a way of saying that we use that as a word, as a synonym. That's the word I was looking for. A synonym of individual. But the thing is, what are you talking about? You're telling someone to be fake. Be a genuine person. Be authentic. What does that mean? Okay? Most people don't even know what the word authentic means. But they use it. They say it. Right? So, why would you tell someone to be a fake? When you say be a genuine person, you're telling them to be a fake. Because the word persona means mask. Think about it. All right. So, what questions you got for me?
Anyone have a question? And thanks for coming and hanging out with us. We appreciate it. And this is always super fun. We're so excited for the whole month of November. Live streams every Monday through Friday. Yeah. We've got some new people here.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming. Did anyone have a moment? Aha. Did you feel it in your gut?
Yeah, our pleasure, Marie-Milia. Yeah. I could say for sure, over the past couple of months, maybe closer to one single month, I've had these moments like crazy, one after the other. So it's funny. I just was thinking yesterday about how as you start getting into phase 2 and using quantum networking, it feels like boiling water. So you stare at the pot and nothing is happening, but underneath the surface where you can't see anything, the water is getting really hot.
Right.
And it starts to boil. And then once it's boiling, you got you're like flying through your human experience like crazy and all the stuff's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it just takes a little bit of awareness and warming up. Yeah, so if you have any aha moments, we'd love to hear them.
We would love to hear them.
And questions too. So we're at 30 minutes now.
Well, we'll give them some time.
Any last minute things you want to say?
No, I don't have anything else to say unless I have any questions. And then I would be more than happy to answer them.
Earlier you asked what some rough things that people had gone through were.
Yes.
And I shared that something I struggled with for a long time was feeling victimized by money. So what's something that you've struggled with that you've managed to let go of?
Well, I'd say the biggest struggle that I've had is that I'm not handicapped. So I know a lot of you won't know this. This is a very good point. So I actually have this. I have a lovely cane here. I don't know if you can see it all the way.
I can see it.
All right. So for 11 years, I had to walk with that cane because I had what's called a Morton's neuroma in my right foot. It's a cluster of nerves that pinch whenever you step on your inside of your foot, and it's really painful. And it was very limiting to me. And so it made it really difficult for me to do much of anything. You may have also noticed that I have these glasses. It's because I can't deal with bright light very well. That's why I wear them. And so I had to go through what I would call a torrential, storm of feeling completely limited all the time because of these issues. I can't see out of my left eye, and that has added to the limitations that I felt. And so I had to get over that. And so those things aren't limitations for me anymore. They used to be, but they're not. And so it's because of this stuff that I teach now and a lot of the things that I've learned over the years that I've managed to get over a lot of these issues. So a lot of what I'm telling you here that you're learning is from my own experience. Things that I got from my mentors and from my own personal experience.
I think you completely glossed over the fact that you don't have nerve pain anymore.
Well, I didn't gloss over that. I just simply didn't mention it.
Okay.
I stopped having nerve pain. I actually went every single day for 10 years plus having nerve pain in my right foot. I could barely walk. And there were days where I was like, I just want to chop off my leg. It had been suggested to me numerous times that I get the nerves cut in my foot so that I wouldn't feel any pain. The only problem with that was that I wouldn't feel anything in my leg, my entire leg. It would actually cut the nerves through my leg. And so I would have to constantly get checked. And I didn't want to go through that. So I just dealt with the pain. And it got to a point where I constantly just identified with the pain. Like I would just say, well, I'm just going to live in pain all the time, And yeah, that was something that I experienced. Now I don't experience any pain because I've gotten over a lot of, they say that psychological pain manifests itself in physical symptoms. I think it's emotional pain that was manifesting itself in physical symptoms because I was in a lot of emotional pain. And but now, like I said, I don't have that pain anymore. I still walk with the cane because I don't walk evenly when I walk, like right now because of the way my foot has been positioned for the last 10 years. But it's not a requirement for me to do.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love it. Marie Millie, I had a question.
Yeah.
With the understanding that there is a mask, how does one begin to take it off?
Terrific question. So taking off the mask, well, first off, I'm going to give you the 3 A's, okay? The 3 A's is what's going to help you take off the mask. First is acceptance. First, you got to accept that you've just been lying to yourself for an incredibly long time. And the thing is, I've actually had this happen a lot where I'll talk to people and they'll tell me something that I know is a lie, right? And I'll be like, why are you telling me that? You know that's a lie. You know that's a lie before you even say it, right? And then they'll be like, yeah, I know, yeah. I was like, you ain't fooling me. You're trying to fool yourself. But what's the point in fooling yourself? Well, to be fair, you've been fooling yourself your whole life. Okay? So you have to accept that. Okay? Then you have to become aware of the fact of when that mask comes on. Not when it comes off. When it comes on. Okay? I'll give you an example. When do you look at someone that you know and think to yourself, well, I don't want to offend them or I don't want to hurt their feelings? That's when your mask is coming on. Okay? Right there. Because you're thinking about other people. The only reason your mask exists, it's not to protect other people. It's to protect you from other people. Okay? So acceptance, you have a mask on. Awareness, knowing when you put the mask on. And the last is appreciation. Appreciate the fact that you can become aware that you put the mask on. Okay? Now, I've gotten to a point where I don't put the mask on anymore. That's me. Okay? But the thing is, I don't think for a long time I ever did. I've always been very blunt. I've always been very direct, and people get really mad at me. All right? And that's okay, because I don't protect myself from their feelings. If they get mad, they get mad. You know, they are responsible for their feelings, not me. I'm responsible for mine. Right? Yeah. So those 3 A's, write it down. All right? Acceptance, awareness, and appreciation. That's how you remove the mask. Then, here's the really cool thing. You can put the mask on and off at will. You can be like, all right, mask. You know, it's kind of like how people do this. You know? It's kind of like that, right? You just put the mask on, right? So, anyway.
Yeah. So that answer also applies to Haley's question about how it feels liberating to know that you can just be, and that's how you can begin. But how do you take off in the expansion? And an additional part of that question is, do you make goals?
No.
Networking?
No goals. No.
We hate goals.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this, all right? We're in the process of actually putting something together to specifically help you out with understanding this. We have this thing, what is it called? The community?
The Phase 2 Academy.
Yeah, the Phase 2 Academy. We're putting that together. We've already got videos set up for it. I'm going to be recording some new ones that go in there as well. We're going to let you guys know probably within the next 24 hours when that's going to become available. Okay? That's actually going to answer your question. Okay? About how you can take off. All right? But I'm going to give you a teaser. All right? You ever hear the phrase that people use when they talk about how they want to leave the Matrix or that someone is in the Matrix? You ever hear that? Put it in the chat if you have. Okay? Because I've heard it a lot. All right? What?
Nah, just the we hate goals. Yeah.
Oh, no, goals. Get them the hell out of here. Okay, no. No goals. Okay, quantum networking you don't need a goal. It's not important.
Unless you want to suffer.
If you like suffering, you can have goals. Hey, don't let us stop you from suffering. We don't want you to suffer, but that's your call.
Yeah. Everyone's heard of The Matrix. Yeah.
Okay, do you know what The Matrix is?
A movie.
Well, yes, it is a movie. That's true. Okay. But do you know what The Matrix is? See, most of the time, when you ask someone, do they know what the Matrix is, I get all kinds of answers. Okay? All kinds. And it's like, So I'm very interested to know if anyone knows what it is.
And while we're waiting for some guesses, Kenny earlier asked if we only have one mask.
Yes, there's only one.
Yeah.
Now, I know people will, you wear like a variety of masks. No, you don't. You have one. Okay. It's just that one mask is very elaborate. It's got a lot of colors on it. All right. It's kind of like a luchador mask if you've ever seen those, right? So, yeah. No, we only have one mask. There's not 20 masks that you got to, I got to peel this one off. And then, you ever see those cartoons where like the person takes off the paper bag and there's another bag under it, right? That's not this. That's not how that works, no.
The funny thing about that is the complication it brings
Yeah,
immediately.
it makes it very complicated. And the thing is, we only have one mask. The mask, and actually the answer to the Matrix question is the one mask. Okay, so if people know what that is, has I got any answers for that? Yeah. All right, so it's okay if you don't know. I'm going to tell you. Okay, the Matrix that people talk about but never explain is your belief systems. Every belief that you hold is the Matrix. It's not something that's external to you, even though people will tell you that it's society-based. It's not. The Matrix that you are in is your belief system.
Yeah, so I got an answer from Marie Milia. She said, it's the system that has been created that keeps you in a constant loop of, if I get this, then I'll be happy.
Yes, that's cause and effect.
Which is a trap because happiness only exists in the present moment.
Agreed.
The Matrix feeds consumerism and keeps people in comparison and judgment. What are the 3 limitations we talk about?
Hey! Did someone read the book?
Comparison and judgment.
Did someone read the book? That sounds like someone read the book. But the Matrix is your belief system. It's not society's belief system, it's yours. Because you could go, well, society taught me this, and society taught me that. But who decided to keep those beliefs?
You did.
You did. Okay? Your belief systems. That's the Matrix. And if you want to escape the Matrix, there's no way to do it. Like, I'm going to just save you a lot of trouble. You cannot escape the Matrix because you will always have a belief system. But what you need to learn is not how to escape the Matrix. Remember in the movie when Neo doesn't try to escape the Matrix? Instead, he learns how to control the Matrix. And that's what you got to do. There's no escape. There's no escaping the Matrix. Because you're always going to have beliefs. But what you got to do is know how to control the Matrix. Because when you can control the Matrix, that's where your power is. One of the things I was taught by my mentor is that our greatest power is hidden in confusion. And if you look at society, it's designed to keep you confused. Oh, you got to do this, and then 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 if you do this, this will happen. But it never happens. So you stay confused. You can't have clarity in a world of confusion. You can have clarity when you leave that world of confusion behind you, though, and you start controlling the narrative. Okay, you can do that. And that's what you got to learn how to do. Now, I'm going to be talking about how to do that in the academy that we're going to be sending out to you guys that you can join. I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to do that. So if that's something that you're like, yes, I need to learn how to control the Matrix, yes, because I'm sick of this shit, then that's where you want to be at, because the classes I'm going to be teaching you are specifically on how to do that.
Flames.
Control the Matrix. You can't escape it. There's nothing to escape because it's you. The only thing if you're saying you're trying to escape the Matrix, you're saying you're trying to escape yourself. That's what you're saying. You can't escape yourself. But you can control yourself. And that's how you control the Matrix. Does that make sense? Did that click for anyone? Please, just let me know. Did that click for you?
It really puts all the responsibility on you, which is tough at the beginning, at least it was for me. And maybe it was for you too. But when you realize that you don't have to be anyone else's victim, it's very liberating. Oh yeah. Because the moment that you go, you know what? I'm gonna control the Matrix. You're not a victim anymore. You are now the master of ceremonies. Yes.
You're the master of ceremonies. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, everyone agrees.
Cool. So, glad to kind of enlighten you there. So, did anyone have an aha moment? If you did, put it in the chat. I know we're a little bit over time, but that's okay because I got to educate the people.
I think everyone definitely had one.
And you gotta educate the people. You gotta let them know. Give them the facts.
Haley's excited.
Give them the truth. Okay?
I'm excited for you, Haley.
Yes. You want to escape the Matrix? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We want to help you do that. But not escape. Remember that. It's not escaping. It's controlling. You want to control. It's like puppets. Okay? It's like puppets. You're like, I'm going to dance. You know? It's like that. Right?
Peter just came through.
It's like that. Right?
Oh, my God. That's funny.
All right.
All right. Anything else? 45 minutes.
No, I'm good. I'm done here. But I will be back tomorrow with yet another lesson for you.
What's the topic tomorrow?
I don't have a clue. But you know what? I got a question for you guys. What would you guys like me to cover tomorrow? I want to know what you think. Tell me what you would like to know. And I would be more than happy to talk about it.
If you can't think of anything right now, feel free to post it in the community.
No, right now, on the spot. Okay, first thing that comes to mind. What do you think? Hey, we're going to get you out of this think about it mode. I want you to just say what's on your mind. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to learn?
We're clearly not on the same page.
We're not on the same page, but that's okay. No, she's like, oh my God, I want to leave. No. We would do it right now on the spot. What do you want to know?
Working for money.
Huh?
Working for money.
Working for money.
Mental limitations. Do you mean broke, Kenyi? 444. Yeah, broke. Mental limitations. Okay, so money is tomorrow's topic.
Money? Oh, boy.
Working for money and mental limitations.
Well, I can do those both at the same time.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will talk about both money and mental limitations.
Boom. Oh, this is going to be so fun.
That's what tomorrow's class is going to be on. So make sure you're there. And you know what? Share it with people. Let them know. Go, hey, you know what? I went to this awesome class that I learned some really amazing things. And you should go too, because I think it can help you, right? So tomorrow we're going to talk about money and limitations. And what was it? Working for money, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Working for money. Got it.
Yes. Yep. And you can see the schedule for all the events inside the community on the left sidebar. There's a tab that says live streams and events. So if you're ever wondering what time anything is. All right, y'all.
All right, guys. You guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to teach you. All right? And so tomorrow, we'll be talking about working for money and mental limitations. So you're going to want to be here for that because I got a lot to say. So, that's it.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Adios.